Line.
Oh, wow.
Glad it's a virtual meeting.
I just muted everybody to count out,
Oh,
wash out the sound. So I don't know whose phone it was or whose device it was, but it's fixed now.
good morning.
Good morning, Pete. How are you?
Good. I wanted to show this off. My son was accepted to Cal Baptist for his master's degree.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's he majoring in there?
It's cybersecurity and sociology or something. I'm not sure. I've never been, and I'm glad he is. So here we are. He's a really
Awesome.
smart kid. I know his dad, so I'm really amazed.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, Bobby. Bobby, you were muted, so I just unmuted you. So go ahead and repeat whatever you were saying.
Can you hear me now? You're muted, but okay, so that was the problem. I had my remote one off. Okay.
We can hear you, Bobby.
Thank you. Thank you. So Pete, I wanted to congratulate you and your son. I think that's awesome. We need good news like that every day.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, yes, sir.
Good morning, Bobby. Good morning, everyone. It's Elaine.
Good morning, Elaine. Elaine, when you're done with this call with me, can you call me? I want to chat with you on a friend. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Again, if I could just ask everyone right now if they could just mute themselves, and we're going to be recording our session. You'll be able to get this recording out later on. There's a chat box for you to go ahead and chat, put any questions in. As you do that, we will go ahead and have Desiree ask those questions. Some of the people that are not able to see the chat, that is why we have Desiree asking the questions. And as well, we're going to have this on Facebook, so we want to ensure that there may be some people that put questions in that we wouldn't see in the chat box. and our team here at the Chamber is taking care of those as well. So again, good morning. I'm Bobby Spiegel with the Krona Chamber, and we have a very packed agenda. And we're very excited that we have continued to do this every single Wednesday since April 1st. And today, the idea that we want to do is, again, share in little snippets of what is going on within the region. And we've asked specific individuals to share with us. They have a limited amount of time. And with that, I'm going to just again remind you that we have a chat box. If you would like to ask a question of any of the speakers, please put that in there. We're going to flow through the agenda rather rapidly today because we want to make sure that we're concise, but we will take time at the end. If there's a question and the speakers are still on, that the presenters are still on, we can be able to ask them if those questions were not asked. I would ask that you would keep yourself muted so that it will limit any distractions. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our chairman of the board, Don Williamson. Donnie, oh, you know what I forgot to mention? We do have a sponsor today, and that was just up there, and that was Waste Management. And I want to thank Waste Management for their sponsorship. If anyone's interested in sponsoring a Zoom meeting like we have, please connect with me and I can sit down and talk to you on how that's done. Now, please welcome our chairman of the board, Don Williamson.
Hey, thank you very much, Bobby, and I want to thank everyone for being on this call. Your attendance and your participation is really important to us, and we really appreciate it. As you know, as I tell you every week, we're still rolling along at the Chamber of Commerce, keeping things going, providing the services. Any questions that you have, any things that we can do for you, please feel free to call our excellent staff. We're all back in the office now and working hard for you. This week, like Bobby said, we have a lot to go through, and this is a place to get some good, updated, accurate information. And we would like to lead off with Jeff Gibson from Occidental Communications Group to give us our legislative update. Jeff?
Good morning, everybody. So as we updated you last week on the state response to the COVID-19 emergency and the ongoing budget emergency, that we are in the midst of budget hearings right now. AB 3216, which is the Leave Act, which mandates 12 weeks of paid family leave on an emergency basis determined by the employee, not the employer, is moving forward in the process, as is AB 398, which is the $275 per employee job killer tax, which we also discussed. The chamber on Friday opposed both of those, and so we are going to be busy working to make sure that those that our legislators understand the position of our employers that they represent and of the state. So, but the state is looking at numerous different. I'm trying to describe this as gently as I can. The federal government, with the job employment numbers that have been coming out and other economic information, is pretty clear that there's not going to be any sort of state or local bailouts. And so we're going to be having to go through a August budget process, which is largely unprecedented in the state. Because we don't have income tax, we won't know how much income tax is going to be collected until July 15th. Because of one of the things that, and we were very supportive of, as was everybody, that income taxes were kicked from April 15th to July 15th in the middle of the emergency. Well, that gums up the budget process, and California is one of a handful of states that has a budget deficit as part of its response. So there will be cutting. Currently, half of those cuts are slated for K-12 and K-16, so that's UC, CSU as well. And but you're going to be seeing a lot of that. We will be keeping you up to speed. So if anybody has any questions, by all means, let me know.
Thank you, Jeff. Desiree, are there any questions in the queue for Jeff?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
All right, stand you in the silence. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. And at this time, I'm pleased to turn it over to the CEO of the Krona Regional Medical Center and one of our business sponsors here at the Chamber, and that would be Mark Uffer. Mark?
Yeah, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. Just very briefly, we spent since probably about, we're in our third or fourth week now of reopening elective surgeries. Modest success. Our numbers are starting to come back. Patients are still obviously concerned about coming near a hospital, whether it's our hospital or any other hospital. I think across the country we're seeing emergency room visits are down, and it's all driven out of fear of COVID. Our COVID numbers, as we sit today, out of every, I think we get about a 1 to 5%, 1 to 10% positive test for every 100 people. We're running about 1 to 10%. It just depends. The numbers have not really gone down significantly. We had some spikes last week. Time will tell. We're 2 weeks into public demonstrations and social misbehavior, as I call it. And so we'll see if there is in fact a spike. I think all of us in the science world expect there will be. We're still advocating that people wear masks wherever they go. That seems to have the greatest success rate of blunting the infections of the virus. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay out of large crowds. That advice worked really well. I think in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of people just ignoring it. So we'll see if ultimately we pay a huge price for that, or if this is indeed a seasonal virus, maybe it's calmed down a little. Hospital is busy otherwise. We still continue to see patients wait too long before they come to the emergency room. And when they do come in, they have some pretty catastrophic results, not related to COVID, just general illness. So listen to your body, look at signs and symptoms, don't ignore them. And if there's an issue, go see your emergency room. Physicians' offices, I think, are supposed to start opening in the next week. They've been doing a lot of telemedicine. So that should tell everybody something right there, that if they're concerned and social distancing and using telemedicine, we should all be trying to do the same thing and continue it. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Thank you, Mark. Desiree, do we have any questions for Mark? You're muted, Desiree.
I see one question. I got a
Thanks.
chat question.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Donnie. The increase in patients, is it due to lifting of COVID restrictions?
Too soon to tell. I think that it's the right way to put this. I think everybody wants this to be over. I think opening things back up signals to people that that we might be through this. We're not seeing that. Like on the weekends, last weekend we saw 15 people that potentially had COVID. Again, only a very small number of them test positive. Just to put that number in perspective, since March 1st, when we started going through this, we've seen about 1,600, almost 1,700 patients that we call PUIs, and probably right around 100 of them have tested positive. So fairly low number, 13 deaths. I talked to a physician yesterday, and he said, most of the fatalities that occur from this are people that were already compromised, and this was a final push in their life. I just don't think I don't think we're out of the woods. And Fauci was on this morning talking, and I think it's still out there. I think social distancing is still appropriate, and I think we should all be wearing masks. That's just my professional and personal opinion. I have a meeting today with a group of physicians, and I'm wearing a mask. I don't go anywhere without a mask. Now, some people would say that's a good thing.
Right. Another one, any plans for expansion in hospital physical space?
Yeah, we currently are working on a couple of different significant projects. One of them is to add a second cath lab for our cardiac business. That's been a real necessary service in the community, so we're actively involved in that. We're actively involved in a ambulatory surgery center acquisition, and we're looking, we have plans built to build a second and third floor over the emergency room. Those are in the discussion phase. We're almost ready to go to the investment committee. I expect that will probably occur in the next 90 days. But you're a year in construction before that gets done. 6 months in planning, another year in construction. But we're still moving forward with those plans.
Great. And one more. Any new partnerships on the horizon for Krona Regional and other agencies?
Not that I can talk about publicly yet. I do have a meeting today with a significant business partner. So I would ask everybody to cross their fingers on that one. This is big for Krona. But yeah, we continue to look at opportunities. We're not just sitting still dealing with COVID.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Desiree, and thank you again, Mark.
Okay, my pleasure.
Moving on now, we're going to today's feature presentation, which is going to involve the county information as we're preparing businesses to open up to stage 3. In fact, as part of that, I just heard that movie theaters are going to be opening up this Friday. So I would like to turn it over this time from the County of Riverside to Rob Moran.
Thank you, and good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Chamber. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, and thanks for having me. So yeah, it's been a busy week, as you can imagine, and I'll update you on a couple different things. We'll start off with, some of the governor's actions and what he's doing with some of the different sectors after, at least on his end, how he's handling that. I also want to just give you a quick update on our grant program, and then also offer the availability of masks for businesses that need it, because we got them and we want to give them out, and Bobby's our partner in doing that. So, but first let me start off that, as you know, the movement from stages, the early stages to 1 to 2 to 3 has been kind of an interesting process as we've gone through that. And for a while we were at stage 2, then we moved into expanded stage 2.5, and we had the attestation approved by the Department of Public Health at the state level. And then since then, we've had this sort of slow but constant reopening of various sectors, including restaurants and hair salons and some of those other things that you're all very familiar with. So last Friday, the governor kind of shifted gears a little bit and put back moving certain other sectors that include movie theaters and family entertainment centers, restaurants, wineries, and bars, and he kind of lumped them all into one category. Zoos and museums, gyms and fitness centers, hotels for tourism and individual travel. Before it was just for essential travel. Card rooms, racetracks, campgrounds, outdoor recreation, and so forth. So he announced last week that he said those sectors can open in counties that have an approved variance after June 12th. But what he said is it's got to be certified by the local public health officer. So he kind of put it back on the local public health officer to make that determination as to whether or not it is appropriate for each county to do so. So the county public health officers have to review their positivity rates and infection data and so forth and make a determination as to whether that's approved. At this moment, our county public health officer has not made that determination yet and is reviewing the health data. So I can't say that we are authorized in accordance with the county or the state's guidelines to open up those additional sectors on June 12th. So I don't have any more detailed information about that. I know that the governor did authorize that, but with local public health concurrence based on the metrics and data that's occurring at the local level. So I don't necessarily have really good news in that regard, but I just wanted to update you on the local end. And I apologize, I don't have this detailed public health statistics to explain all that and how that's working, but just know that we are all anxiously awaiting for more information in that regard. But it is something that the local public health officer does have to make that determination. So we'll see how that turns out. So that is what it's occurring there. So I know, that it makes it sound like it is, but it is dependent on local public health officers reviewing their local data and positivity rates, et cetera. So I just wanted to give a quick update there. Also, on our grant program that is open and we're accepting applications, and it's $10,000 grants for businesses with less than 50 employees. We're seeing a steady stream of applications coming in and eligible. There are some criteria, and it is on our website, and I believe that we've shared that previously, but Bobby has that information. We have that information. We're more than happy to share it. And part of it is, we're reaching some of the harder to serve folks that maybe didn't get the PPP and EIDL. And it's likely that there will be a sort of a second round of applications after next week. We'll have to wait and see based on the volume, and then we might tweak it a little bit, but it's we'll kind of wait and see. Applications are being accepted through June 19th. I encourage you to please help us get the word out, share it with your fellow businesses, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can certainly reach out to Bobby, and Bobby knows how to get a hold of me. We're in constant communication, and I want to thank Bobby for his partnership, because it's been really a great thing for us. So thanks a lot for helping us spread the word, not just on the grant program, but a lot of other things. So appreciate that. And then lastly, we have a shipment of we had 1 million masks to hand out specifically for the purpose of sharing with our business community. And we've been working with our Economic Recovery Task Force. Bobby's on that. And I think we've got 850,000 left. So if you or businesses that you work with need masks, they are available at no cost. Just reach out to Bobby and he'll work with our team to get that supply. I think, Bobby, do you have some still in stock, or do you need to get more? But either way, work with Bobby on that, and we can help provide those for you. And again, they're at no cost. It's part of the PPE resources that we can share. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to participate this morning.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Desiree, do we have any questions for Mr. Moran?
Mr. Moran, if you can remind the businesses that the state of California is still offering a nearly 4% discount on the sales tax of equipment purchased for manufacturing, extended until 2022.
I believe so. That's part of the, I think it's the sales tax. That's an existing incentive, if I remember correctly. Forgive me, I've been dealing with some of the financing things, but yeah, it is my understanding that the state share of the manufacturing tax credit is still available. There's a couple of tiers to that. There's one that's the entire sales tax portion that's for certain businesses, fit into some categories. And then there's the state level, which is, 3.19%. I forgot the exact amount, but it is my understanding, yeah, that's still available.
How you guys doing?
And if anybody needs any help, they can certainly reach out to me. You've got my contact information. Happy to help get more information on any of the either the COVID related programs or the good old fashioned regular state and federal programs that are out there in the county program. So those are still in effect. And so if anybody needs help with that, we're more than happy to help out. And I saw that Ryan just mentioned that he's there too. Ryan's a great resource at the city.
Great. Desiree, any more?
Yeah, also, does Riverside County have a proposed date to reopen, or is the county just following California state directives?
That question, it came from Leah, so I think I'll interpret that as being, does Riverside County as an entity, or when are we going to open our offices? And we are starting, I think, a gradual reopening on the 15th, and it's going to be department by department based on what their operational needs are, how they can accommodate health and safety measures. So we are planning on opening on Monday the 15th, but like I said, that'll be a department by department basis. And if somebody needs to come into an office, I would strongly encourage them to check with that particular department on how they're handling that. So it's not necessarily hard and fast, but it is the beginning of the process.
Great. And then 2 questions. It's going to be wrapped up into one. Any update on yesterday's vote specifically for nonprofit grants?
Great question. And that was approved yesterday at the Board of Supervisors. It was approximately $5 million for nonprofit organizations. That program is going to be administered by the Community Foundation of the Inland Empire region. And so if you are interested in those grant programs, I believe it's $2,500 to, I think it's $10,000. I might be mistaken on that upper figure, but reach out to the Community Foundation for Riverside County. So that was indeed approved by the Board of Supervisors.
And also just what kind of masks are available, just to clarify for some people.
Bobby, what's the best way to classify those?
So they're non-surgical masks, and we've got someone picking them up in our lobby right now, a couple hundred of them. So we have hundreds of them here. The county has had a great partnership with us. Give us a call at Chamber 737-3350, and we can go ahead and assist you with those. It's 951-737-3350. And a clarification on the grants for the nonprofit, you are correct, Rob, that is up to $10,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Desiree, was there any others?
Let's see. Is there a grant to help businesses for disinfecting businesses before opening?
I'm not aware of anyone that's specific to that particular item, but you can certainly, investigate whether or not the county grant works for you. But I'm not familiar of anyone that's particular for just that purpose alone.
And that's all we have.
Thank you so much, Rob. I really, really appreciate you being on the call. And Donnie and I are going to wrap up this meeting with some announcements, but I wanted to thank the various people that took time out of their schedule to share with us today and every single week. Before we go into the slides of the other things that are coming up, I did want to just mention that next week we're going to have a panel of the City Council in Krona that are going to share with us about the various things that are going on within the city. And it will be focused because we're ready to do business again. And so it's pretty exciting. So our first slide that I would like to just talk about is some of you that are on the call may not be a member of the chamber yet. I'd like to encourage you to connect with Robert Yanez so that he can answer any of the questions that you may have. We're stronger as a larger unit, and we would love to have you part of our chamber family. Again, I want to just say thank you to our sponsor for today, which is Waste Management. They are a tremendous business and big supporter of ours. And if any of you would like to become a sponsor, please connect with me directly at the chamber, bobby@mychamber.org, or the regular phone number. And Donnie?
We want you to already start planning ahead for July. And if you look at the slide that's up there right now, one thing that we're going to be back to this year is the State of the City. We're going to do that on July the 17th at Eagle Glen. It will be at 7 o'clock in the morning. And you can do the registration. You can see the RSVP there on the slide. Sponsorships are available for this. And this is a real good opportunity to listen to our mayor and hear what the city has plans in the months ahead. So we encourage you to sign up and attend that. Also, something that we're doing well online is our Coffee with an Entrepreneur that we do every month. This is a chance to get some inside information from someone who's been successful in their business here, usually locally here in Krona. And again, you can register for that by hooking in to the link that you see there on the slide. And that'll be on July the 13th. Bobby?
Thank you. And then, I got to hand it to Desiree. Whenever there's lemons that are tossed to us, we make lemonade out of it. And Desiree was in charge of our mixers and trying to coordinate and get something for people to engage with. And during the COVID, we went virtual. And so this is her kind of theory of things, the Posh Pants Optional Social Hour. And it's a lot of fun. Our last one will be June 16th, and that'll be from 3:30 to 4:30. You do need to just register up with Desiree. You can connect through our website, www.mychamber.org. And then the next slide that I want to talk about is a golf tournament. I know many of you are itching to be out there and wanting to be out playing golf. Golf has been open, but not as far as tournaments. We have a good feel that August 5th, everything will be perfect for us. And we'd like to encourage you to consider being a sponsor, to be able to come out with a foursome. If you want to be a larger sponsor, we would love to have you engaged with that. You can find out all the registration stuff with the bit.ly that's there, that's /Krona Krona Golf, or you can connect with Linda at mychamber.org. Donnie?
Okay, you know, we're doing this back and forth so you guys don't get tired of hearing me only or Bobby only. So
they're probably tired of both of us anyway, but it's okay.
we are optimistically planning a week from Friday, which is going to be June 19th, of returning to Eagle Glen for Good Morning Corona live and in person. We hope that we're going to be able to do that. Like I said, we're optimistic that we are. So please plan on attending that and register. The pricing is on our website. All this information, by the way, is on our website, mychamber.org. So if you're missing anything here and you want to catch up later, that's where you want to go. And after that, we're going to have the Women's Leadership Conference this year again. And that's going to be on September the 24th. We have some great speakers lined up. This has become a regional event. I believe this is our 9th one that we've done now. The Krona Chamber of Commerce has hosted this now for quite a few years. And we have a panel of physicians that are going to be attending. And I can't encourage you enough to try to get and attend this. It's a good use of your time, which we always respect. And hopefully you will be able to attend the Women's Conference. If you go ahead and buy your tickets now, there's going to be $40 versus $60 if you wait. So that's, again, September 24th. Bobby?
Thank you. And our last slide that I want to just share is coming up on June 24th. I want you to mark your calendars for the 10 o'clock Corona Chamber Business Briefing. We have the honor and privilege to have Brigadier General Melissa Coburn that will be speaking. And we're very excited to have her on board with us. So please register with that. And I so appreciate each of you being on this call today. With that being said, we are definitely adjourned early today, but we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, Elaine.